After a pretty poor first half against Nottingham Forest, Chelsea bounced back in epic fashion in that second half, courtesy of Enzo Maresca's triple substitution, which not only turned the game around in Chelsea's favour, but also ended up getting Ange Postecoglou sacked. So today, my friends, I'm here to talk about the 5 big things we learned in yesterday's massive away win. And for the first thing we learned, this is the Pedro Neto I want to see more on a consistent basis. Yesterday, Pedro Neto single-handedly turned this game around in Chelsea's favour by securing a goal and an assist against Nottingham Forest. My question is, with Chelsea's left-hand side still needing a bit more time to adapt, should Pedro Neto maybe get more consistent minutes down that left-hand side? In my opinion, I think this guy shows pretty nice balance for the rest of the team. And yesterday, it was Pedro Neto's world-class delivery from that left-hand side, which opened up accounts for Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. In my opinion, Neto is one of the best crossers of the ball in this entire division. And he used his left foot to play this unbelievable cross on the run, which is a very difficult skill to master. But Pedro Neto can do this on his left foot and on his right foot as well. It's nuts. Statistically, he pulled off 3 out of 4 crosses. All his crosses caused danger. He made 4 key passes. These were passes that were leading towards dangerous moments and shots on goal. He made 1 big opportunity as well. And he was consistently at his most creative and influential best. And for myself, the stat that really did it for me, you guys, was the fact that he pulled off 3 out of 4 dribbles. Yeah, this guy wasn't only producing a high volume of dribbles, he was executing them. And I think that's been my biggest criticism of Pedro Neto. And I think this game against Nottingham Forest was the perfect reaction to bounce back from after a pretty mediocre showcase against Liverpool before international break. The goal he scored was excellent. And this is the Neto I want to see more of, because in my opinion, I think this guy has exceptional shooting mechanics. His ability to generate power, yeah, with barely any backlift. I think this is a top skill he has. And when he executes it, he makes things happen. But my thing's always been is the consistency in which he isn't utilizing this special skill that he actually possesses. For me, it does feel like it's a bit of a lottery ticket in regards to whether his shot's going to be on target or go ballooning over the post. So listen, Pedro Neto stepped up for the team, he made things happen, and reminded all of us why he is a player that Maresca values, and with his experience not only in the division, but in this young Chelsea squad. I think this is the Neto that we need to see more of on a consistent basis, because this is what he can do. And I guess the question is, to see the more consistent Neto, should he maybe get more minutes down the left-hand side at this point in time? For the second thing learned, Josh Acheampong is the next defensive star on the Cobham conveyor belt. Yesterday, the wonder kid got off the marks to score his first ever Chelsea career goal to open up the accounts against Nottingham Forest. Unreal moment for the kids, exceptional goal, and I'm hoping that as he grows and develops over the years, we're going to see a lot of these Acheampong headers that are changing games in our favour. Now, he reminded us that his talent and potential has been there for the last few years. He had many great mid-table clubs trying to sign him for their first teams. Before that, European giants like Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid had this kid on their radar and asked about him. The club understand the talent they have, and it's why the directors told Maresca, we understand you want to have that first team ready centre-back, but we have stars, we have talents, and we don't want you to ruin their development and their minutes. Trust them and use them. And I feel like Acheampong definitely is reacting to that and showcasing what he's really about. When you look at this kid, he's unique. He's got many unique things going his way. It's the height, for one. I mean, I still don't know. Is he 6'5"? Is he 6'3"? All I know is this guy is a towering presence. But it's not just that programmable height and frame, because he will get bigger. He will get stronger. But it's that mixture of 2 things. One, which is his technique, that ability to step up, carry through lines, increase the pace. I've been saying the future for top teams like ourselves is to have press-resistant centre-backs. The worst defenders are the strikers. Strikers have gone up levels when it comes to pressing. Now, to counter that, can the top teams have those press-resistant defenders that are like midfield players that can step up and play through that? Acheampong can. But the second thing in this kid's favour is that this guy can equally play across any defence position to the same level. That's what separates him and gives him that elite potential. Now the thing is, can he rise and hit those heights? And I think we should be pretty excited by the scary levels that this kid can reach. Now last season was the foundational season for Acheampong. It was about understanding Maresca's setup in his system, and it allowed Maresca an opportunity to assess how Acheampong works within the structure he sets out for the team. That's why he played a ton of games against smaller, weaker opposition. But this season, this is his introduction season. This is his season to showcase everything he's learned over the last year, and I think we're seeing some pretty promising signs. He's getting thrown in the deep end, but that doesn't mean that he's perfect, because at the moment he's still showcasing the areas for improvement, and he's still picking up this consistent stat of creating at least one error that leads to a shot. But that's something you can work with, and I think that's something that you have to understand, because see it from his perspective. He's playing against strikers that he's never played against. He's playing alongside defensive partners that he's not consistently played with. It's not like we have that consistent framework of the Puyo PK relationship where PK was able to learn everything by having this master alongside him. Acheampong is playing alongside different partners all the time. Fair enough. And he's also played some games on the left as an inverted option, as the right back, and also in defense too. So it's understandable why maybe he's making some lapses of concentration and creating some mistakes with his playing out from the back. That's cool, but also understandable. When he gets more confidence, he's gonna grow. That's normal. But my thing is, how do you defend? Ball playing is nice, that's cool. But when it comes down to it, how do you defend? And so far, this kid is building a pretty interesting CV. To shut up Mateta ain't an easy thing to do. To go toe-to-toe against Awayini, one of the strongest strikers in the league, it's not an easy thing to do. And yesterday, this guy put on a bit of a defensive showcase, which really impressed me. I mean, he made 6 recoveries. You know how mad that is? If you're going to be taking risks playing with a high line, guys like him allow you to do that. 6 recoveries tells you how switched on his mindset is, yeah? 4 interceptions, reading the game was great. 3 clearances, he won both of his headers. 100% completion rate. This guy won 5 out of 7 ground duels. He was in action defensively from the first minute to the last minute. And you can see he was relishing it. He can absorb the physical contact. He can go toe to toe and he can still keep his balance and keep his strides. This kid has all the raw attributes, yeah, that not every kid has, that puts him on a different echelon of potential. Our thing is now, can we make sure that Acheampong can realize all of this playing for our football club? For the third thing, Marc Guiu is the glue. One of the subtle changes from Maresca that turned this game around in our favor was the introduction of Marc Guiu up front. Now, rumors suggested that allegedly the club weren't planning to use him because there was potential plans to loan him back out again in January, but it's been quite obvious that those rumors have been completely disproven, and I have to say, this was the most accomplished Premier League striker performance that I've personally seen for Marc Guiu. The moment he entered the field, this guy brushed aside Morato from Nottingham Forest like he wasn't there. Shoulder to shoulder, that's my ball, I'm stronger than you. I'm here to let you know this is a different game, buddy. Time's gonna get a lot harder for you. And he was roughing these guys up. I absolutely loved it. Another detail I liked too was how he was constantly occupying for his centre-backs, making things hard for them, moving them out of position by making diagonal runs, making runs in the channels. Yeah, he was active. He was in motion constantly. He was a platform that the team needed. And that is what makes Marc the glue right now, being that focal point to occupy and stretch defensive lines. This only helps our talents between the lines right now. And this guy was not static at all. And now that Liam Delap isn't here, there's a real moment now for Guiu to make his impact, to really show everyone what he's learned over the last year. As I stressed, this was his best Premier League performance that I've seen from him at the moment. His challenge is, can he make that striker position his own right now? For the fourth thing, are we about to see a reborn Joao Pedro? Now, Pedro went into this game with the unfortunate title of recording 0 shots in his last 5 games. Now, if you're not a Chelsea fan, you're going to start doing banner. But if you're a Chelsea fan, we know the context. We know the difference, right? Number one, the guy's playing through serious fatigue and he's playing through the pain. But another thing we can't forget is that playing as a striker in this system, bro, it's not an easy thing to do. It's one of the most selfless roles that you can do out of any striker role in the Premier League from any team. Not only do you have to constantly make runs to create movements of players around you, you have to plug holes where they're needed to be. On top of that, you need to press your arse off. You need to drop back to link up play at times. And you're constantly just repeating those actions and repeating those actions to try and get some scraps to play with. So when your teammates aren't even able to play you in, when you finally found that breakthrough, it's quite frustrating and it's quite demoralizing at times. Joao Pedro has ridiculous qualities though, and he was showcasing that in the first half, yeah? That cushion header to find Andre Santos, great piece of play. And one of the plays of the entire game was when he received the halfway line, did that little Brazilian fake drag back, and played an expert lofted through ball over the top to find Andre Santos, who should have bagged that goal and scored. So that tells you the level of natural talent this guy has. But I think the thing that really helped him even more to get him more involved in this game was that introduction of Marc Guiu to do the dirty work up front, which allowed Joao Pedro to have more on-ball influence. You could see that his touches dramatically grew. The influence between the lines dramatically grew. The qualities dramatically grew. And the thing that makes Joao Pedro special, and it's a detail I want you guys to pay attention to, is that he plays the game at his own pace. And how does he do that in particular? He does that with all the little lovely small touches on the ball. He does that because he's trying to make his opponent second guess every single time. Because when you have that level of footwork, tight control, and body balance where you can swerve in any direction, it kind of creates that illusion that you're playing the game at your own speed. And he was really helping just link and add quality to the play in the final third. Listen, yeah, Joao Pedro can easily play up front. One of the most unique things about him is that he can play like a 5-star level up front and also deeper as well as a 10. And the thing that we've been missing that hasn't maybe held him up front in the last few games is that he's had no one to play off with or combine with. There's been no Esteval on a consistent basis. There's been no Cole Palmer. That's been the medicine. That's the minerals that helps him do what he does. So I think in the meantime, if we're not able to tap into that type of player, I think using Pedro as the 10 could make the most sense for team balance at this point in time. And for the final thing learned, Reece James bags a goal on his 200th appearance at Chelsea. For me, when are we going to rightfully admit this? That Reece James is the greatest right back in this club's history. He is the combination of Ivanovic's strength, the defending and IQ of Azpilicueta, the forward play of Basingwa. But then he kind of surpasses all of them by the fact that he has the footballing IQ of a midfield player. Do you know how much it helps Enzo Maresca to have a player like Reece James that can seamlessly slot into playing in defense as a right back and in midfield? It means that when you're making changes to turn the game around with your subs, you don't have to make an additional sub because Reece James fills the slots. That's how good he's becoming, and that's how complete Reece James is becoming right now. But I think there's another unspoken part of his game. Outside of his technical qualities and influence on the game, it's the mental influence. It's his influence as a captain. When we talk about leadership, listen, we're Chelsea fans. We've seen one of the captains of captains, one of the greatest leaders we'll probably ever see in John Terry. So it's quite easy to try and compare everyone to that standard. It's normal. But leadership can also be understated. Leadership can also be quiet. Leadership can be considered and leadership can be measured because how do you judge this particular level of leadership? You judge it by how much weight the voice carries. You judge it by the authority that is shown when a leader speaks up and gets guys around him to listen. And there was a particular example in game that showcases this down to a T, and it came with the second goal. Now, Pedro Neto revealed afterwards that they studied the opponents, they realized some details on Celts, the keeper of Nottingham Forest, and it was decided in that set-piece moment that Reece James was going to touch the ball back to Pedro Neto, with the main aim of that move to act as bait. To bait Celts to take a step out to the wrong direction. Pedro Neto then revealed that when this happened, Reece James told him, make sure you hit the ball down his opposite sides. And that's what he did. And it was that creation of that split second of space that allowed Pedro Neto to make it too. If Reece James didn't have that authority or that respect or that leadership within the group, who's to say Neto even listens to him? Because that's the thing that happens all the time. Listen, he might not have maybe the charisma of other captains. I'm not gonna lie, his press duties are pretty funny to me because he talks as if he's in Spain or in Italy. You know what I mean? You know that little like foreign twang you put onto things. It is what it is. But where the leadership really matters, man, is what is happening on that field and on that pitch. And this is where Reece James's leadership cannot be denied. So my friends, They're the 5 things that we learned in yesterday's massive away win against Nottingham Forest. Listen, we rode our luck at times. They had a higher expected goal threat compared to us. But in the end, we executed it. We showcased the will to win. And we did what we had to do. So let me know right now, what did you learn? Who impressed you? What was the moment of the game that excited you? Comment away, and I'll catch you guys later with more videos. Love. Cool.